Hello friends, this is Dr. Saurabh Patwardhan from Nandadeep Eye Hospital, and in this video we'll be speaking about ultra soft cataract of the young. We get many these young patients less than 30 years of age and they have ultra soft cataract, lower scleral degree. They are quite sensitive and they also have high expectations from the surgery. So in these cases we have to take some extra precautions. In these cases I use more of intracameral xylocaine to reduce the sensitivity of the patient. I always try to take the incision on the steep axis so that the patient's post-operative astigmatism is minimum. In these young patients, you get more of with the rule astigmatism. So many times you have to place the incision at 90° rather than temporal incision that we normally take. In very young patients, I prefer to use 1.8% hyaluronate to flatten the anterior capsule. In this case, I am using methyl cellulose, and always I see to it that I do the CCC from the side port incision in these patients. This helps in avoiding viscoleak. Also, make a mental note of the CCC size you want to make. You can also use a CCC marker like the impression on the epithelium, which I have shown in CCC videos before. The maneuvers from the small side port incision helps in avoiding viscoleak and achieving good size central CCC in these patients. This is very important because we want very stable refractive outcome over a period of years in these young patients. Whenever required, use the hyaluronate. After decompressing the chamber, I do quite forceful hydrodissection in young patients. That is because in these cases the lens is very soft, so generally you don't get posterior capsular rupture because of trapped fluid in these cases. So use plenty of fluid, forceful fluid, and also do multiple hydrodelineations so that the nucleus or endonucleus prolapses out from the bag outside. And we can use phaco probe, as well as you can safely use coaxial IA probe to aspirate this nucleus, because there is absolutely no nuclear sclerosis in these patients. So you can easily aspirate the nucleus and as well as epinucleus and cortex with the same probe. And because it lacks any sharp edges, the chances of posterior capsular rupture with these coaxial IA is quite minimal. You can of course use bimanual IA also. Using this, because the opening in these probes is much smaller than the phaco probe, it may take slightly more time for aspiration of the nucleus, but then it is always safer, particularly in young patients, and particularly if the patients are a little bit uncooperative and squeezing the eyes in between. I think these IA probes help a lot because of their atraumatic nature. While removing this IA probe from the eye, I always follow a ritual. I first stop the irrigation so that the intraocular pressure drops slowly, and then I inform the patient that I am going to withdraw the probe, so don't squeeze. Because many times this patient, if they are not told properly, they suddenly feel that there is IOP fluctuation, they feel discomfort, and then they start squeezing the eye. So if you inform the patient properly, I think they are much more cooperative. The choice of IOL in very young patients, I generally avoid the multifocals or the diffractive variety. So I go for either monofocal or EDOF IOLs, and I try giving best corrected distance visual acuity. In particular cases, if the patient demands, I go ahead with monovision. But these are my choice of IOLs. Again, while entering with the irrigation, I generally enter very slowly, so the IOP builds up very slowly, and then I lift the iris up to release the reverse pupillary block. And because of this posterior movement of the iris lens diaphragm, the patient also feels discomfort sometimes. So it is better to inform the patient that he may feel some pressure differences, and that is normal. So once you reassure the patients are quite comfortable during these maneuvers. Thorough wash of the viscoelastic is, I think, very important, because you don't want any post-operative inflammation in the eye. Again, I am following the same ritual. Stop the irrigation first, let the IOP go down, inform the patient not to squeeze, and then take out the IA probe. So this avoids discomfort to the patient. And then hydration of the incisions. You can find my video on my channel about incision closure, and that will give you much better idea of incision closure. It's very important to see to it that there is no wound leak in this young patient, because the scleral rigidity is low. So if you have any wound leak, there is a likelihood that there is a higher risk of endophthalmitis, and the AC may remain flat for prolonged time. So always see to it that at the end of the procedure, the AC is well formed and there is no wound leak at all from these incisions. If there is wound leak and if the patient is uncooperative, you can also go ahead with additional suture of the wound. Anywhere during the procedure, if you feel the patient is not cooperating, you can give a posterior subtenon block so that the patient is more comfortable during the surgery. But as I mentioned during the procedure, if you keep speaking with the patient and explaining him about the anterior chamber fluctuation, because these fluctuations are the one which causes discomfort to the patient most of the time. So if you follow this maneuver and explain to the patient, I think patients are very comfortable also on topical anesthesia. See to it that the IOL is properly placed in the bag and the CCC is completely overlapping the IOL to have the best refractive outcomes, not only in short term but also in the long term. Thank you very much for watching.